Hello and welcome to Say Hi to the Future, Ingenious Thinkers, a podcast aimed at highlighting the human side of ingenuity. My name is Ken Tencer, curator of Say Hi to the Future, helping leaders think differently in the face of uncertainty and ambiguity. Better thinking, better outcomes. With me today is Prabaarja Bedi, co-founder of UNfabricated, an environmentally and socially sustainable e-commerce lifestyle brand with over 200 customers. On a mission to empower rural women in India and to reduce textile waste. Like this video if you enjoy our show and subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment with who we should interview next. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Prabaarja Bedi, UNfabricated, co-founder of UNfabricated. Welcome to Say Hi to the Future.
Thank you so much, Ken. Thanks for having me.
So Prabaarja, you were recently on stage at one of our activations. It was focused on resilience, and the panel was actually the future of leadership is female. Now, that fits you in so many ways because of who you are and what you're doing, but you also volunteer for something called Girls Ruling the World. So tell us about this movement towards women, girl, female ruling the world as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, at the panel, I shared a lot about my background in terms of my story and how I'm so passionate about women empowerment. It all starts with sort of my passion. As an empath, I have always sort of wanted to make an impact. Coming from a patriarchal, like born and brought up in a patriarchal society, having seen how women were majorly considered, like they just need to like take care of the home, take care of the family. There's nothing wrong with it, as long as they're doing that out of choice. But I saw like so many women having so much potential. They had these amazing managerial skills, amazing skills to multitask when I saw them like managing their home, their family. And I was like, there's so much potential in these women and in myself as well, that I could step out and do and achieve the entrepreneurial dreams that I always had. And that's where sort of like the seed got planted in terms of, finding ways and opportunities to offer to women in general, whether their trajectory or their path is to start something of their own or just identify what their dreams really are. Most of the women in India at that time, like when I started thinking about all of this, when I was in school, when I was a kid, it was like they didn't even bother to, put themselves through the thought process of what their dream really is, because they were already handed over this dream of like taking care of the family and the household. So that's where it all started, and the movement of sort of empowering women and girls ruling the world sort of started for me. And how it has transitioned is, one, it started with my mom. My mom's always been a homemaker, and when I was starting with the idea of UNfabricated, I knew that this is something that I really want to do. Like I really want to empower women through this business. And I brought my mom on board, and this was like the first time she was working as a businesswoman, or this was the first time ever for her to work. So this was really empowering for her and for myself, and that gave me so much confidence that I could impact the lives of many women. And it now has transitioned into working with more women artisans in India, partnering with all women production houses in India that are also led by women. So there's all sorts of like these forces, and the universe is sort of, pulling me and pushing me towards opportunities that enable me to empower women and share my experiences and learn so much from them.
Well, thank you for that. And so you touched on UNfabricated that you co-founded with your mom. Tell us about what it does, though. What UNfabricated is.
Sure. So Unfabricated is a socially and environmentally sustainable, ethical fashion and home brand. We basically upcycle surplus and waste fabrics that are generated in textile manufacturing firms, and we hand these over to the all-women production house to create new fashion and home products. All of our products are hand-stitched by women artisans. These women artisans work in factories and in environments where they are upskilled. They learn new skills, how to stitch, how to do sampling, fashion designing, and they're given a fair wage. They're given a very healthy environment to work in, and that's the whole mission of Unfabricated. One is to reduce the textile waste, and the other is to empower women.
And your focus specifically, these are women in India living in rural areas. And it said, looking from your site, 80% of India's poor live in rural areas, and 47% of rural women in India are illiterate and living in poverty. So you've honed in on a obviously a very problematic or challenging area, and you're bringing your own way a little bit of light and empowerment to them. So why, how do you, because I've met you since you're in Canada, how do you connect to this population of women and empower them the way you do?
Yeah, so I take a lot of trips to India. I visit India like twice a year. My mom, who's the co-founder, she works actively with the all-women production houses. We currently have two partners, two all-women production house partners, and we actively communicate with them in terms of what kind of opportunities are they offering. If we have to place an order with them for a pop-up or for our website products, we engage with them on a regular basis. There's also a lot of like informal communication that happens through WhatsApp to sort of have that personal connect with these all-women production houses. And on top of that, I think my role in Unfabricated, and having to be in this part of the world is also to connect with like-minded women, immigrants especially, to sort of create these new opportunities and ways to collaborate. For example, at the event, I met Seema Sangvi, who's the founder of Cooks Who Feed. I just sent her an email yesterday about how we can collaborate. I need to place an order for some t-shirts. And this is just sort of like the ways of, creating opportunities and sharing this with the women there. I definitely do miss some of that personal touch where I could actually go and interact with these women on a regular basis. But as I said, like whenever I visit home, it's always like, I go visit the women, just see, have a conversation with them. And my mom's been actively working on it as well.
Well, that's a wonderful background to it, and it's not just about empowering women though. It's about the planet. So tell us about textiles, and I mean, I know there's not a great relationship between textiles and landfill for one, and tell us how you're changing that, where you source your textiles.
Sure. So basically, as you may know, like textile and fashion industry is literally the second largest polluter in the world after oil and gas. I would just backtrack to also like how this thought of like working in textiles and like upcycling came to me. So when I was doing my MBA at Babson, I was introduced to this concept called a circular economy model, which is basically just recycling, reusing, sharing, leasing any kind of materials and products to prolong their life for as long as possible. And I was like, this is a very interesting model. I would love to implement this model in some industry. I had so much experience before my MBA working in different industries, healthcare, manufacturing, fashion. So just really had this urge of applying that circular economy model. That's when I picked up the phone. I spoke to my father. He runs a textile manufacturing business in India. And I started like, getting some clarity on how the processes really work in textile manufacturing firms and what kind of waste are we generating in the factories. And that's where I got to know that there is like so much surplus, heaps of surplus fabrics generated on a monthly basis, enough to produce like 2,000 dresses. And I was just amazed at the fact how this waste is generated because of informal business processes. Because he works with export houses work with fast fashion brands, and in this whole process, there's so much waste that's being generated. My next trip to India was I just went to the factory. I took someone with me. I invited a quality control individual with me, a consultant with me, and we went there and we saw this, this whole warehouse sort of filled with waste fabrics, nowhere to go, and eventually would have gone to landfills. We started digging into what these fabrics were, what these fabrics were made of. Were these in a good condition? Could we use these fabrics for something? And that's where we realized that all of the surplus fabric could be upskilled. There were minor defects in the fabrics which could be fixed very easily, and new products which can be wearable, can be used for years and years, can be created. And that's how sort of the idea of unfabricated sort of got connected to the upcycling or reducing the textile waste aspect. So now what we do is we partner with textile manufacturing firms to gather their surplus and waste fabrics and then create new products out of this. So one thing that, so we have, of course, partnered with my father's business, and that is where most of our fabric comes from and also defines our USP in a way for unfabricated, because these fabrics are laces and embroidered fabrics. So these are very unique fabrics which you wouldn't otherwise, get or source. So it's actually interesting how, as we have these conversations with certain textile manufacturers, like identifying what surplus waste or waste fabrics are they generating, and how comfortable they are in sort of, sharing it with a mission-driven brand. So those sort of interesting conversations are coming into play, and I'm actually very excited to partner with more production houses going forward.
What a wonderful family business. I mean, I know your father's not in the business, but that whole, doing it with your mom and connecting with your dad, that seems to be a wonderful part of what you do.
Yeah, I think it's important to sort of also leverage the knowledge and resources you have at hand. I've always been an individual who's shied away from being a part of the family business, only to be very independent and have like an independent business. But that sort of knowledge, when someone has that knowledge and has honed it for over 30 years now, it makes a lot of difference. And this is all about impact. And I myself consider myself as a very a person who networks and connects with people to maximize that impact. And what's a better place to start at? There's no better place but home to actually begin.
Yeah, it is actually. So thank you for that. So Prabaarja, we've talked about we'll say the supply side of your business, or the supply chain into it. Tell us a little bit about your go-to-market. I mean, because if you're dealing with remnant textiles, you're obviously not going for super long runs, and there's obviously uniqueness to every piece that you put out in the world. So is this online? Are there stores that carry it? Talk to me about that part.
Sure. So UNfabricated started as a direct-to-consumer brand. We started selling directly to the consumers. I sort of started having these conversations and customer interviews to identify what kind of target market do I need to approach? Who are the people who are really concerned and want to maximize their impact? And having these conversations with women in the US, even in Canada, it's just been really interesting how they want to maximize their impact in terms of empowering women across the globe, reducing the textile waste, and how people have started becoming aware of what the fashion industry does to the planet and the people. Having these conversations, it really encouraged us to go direct to consumer at first. And also during COVID, we were to basically launch in 2020 through a trunk show and have our products displayed in person. But that was really the very week when we were hit by COVID. So we automatically had to transition, pivot and go online completely with no brand presence at that time. So it was slow in the beginning. I had to have multiple conversations with people. participate in various startup accelerators and incubators to get the word out, seek guidance from mentors, and connect with consumers. So it all began there. We started with our e-commerce store, which is live even today. We sell our products through our e-commerce store as well as through our pop-ups. So we did around 4 pop-ups this summer as well, partnering with different educational institutions and cities. So we partnered with the city of Brampton. We participated in the Brampton Library. We did one pop-up in downtown with the Toronto Metropolitan University, and there's another pop-up that I'll be participating in very soon. So that was like our second avenue outside of the e-commerce platform were these pop-ups, and still are these pop-ups. And now the third thing that we are transitioning into is partnering with boutique stores and online marketplaces. There are a lot of online marketplaces that promote sustainability and ethical fashion. So we are currently in talks with an online marketplace. And if that goes through, we'll be listed on their website. We'll do a pop-up with them. And there are 2 more that are in pipeline. So hopefully by early next year, we'll have the news of all these collaborations that we are transitioning into on the B2B end. There's definitely some challenge in terms of scalability for a sustainable fashion business. And I'm sort of trying to navigate those challenges as well through these collaborations and partnerships to maximize the impact and also scale the business.
Boy, that COVID word. It's crazy, but I mean, achieving what you have under those circumstances, I mean, as an entrepreneur, that is going to carry you a long way, the resilience that you showed through it. So kudos on that.
Thanks
Just
again.
as a marketer, I mean, I think I understand the scalability, but scalability of shorter run, very unique products, there's a wonderful story that you're building.
Yeah, I think the story aspect is something that really connects the brand with the consumers. I think that's sort of like the link in all these pop-ups that I do and all the customer interactions that I have. They love the impact that they can make with one purchase. And you rightly said, like, even the uniqueness of the products, all of our product lines are one of a kind. Like, you will not find these products with us or with anyone else again. So it also brings in that fashion and uniqueness factors for individuals who are looking for one of a kind products. So there's so much that I can do with the business, and I'm so excited and thrilled to actually explore all the avenues and see how it goes.
So, and you don't have to tell me it if it's a secret sauce, but so who designs? I mean, you talk supply side, you talk to market, but at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, whatever you want to call it, if you don't put out a beautiful looking and feeling product in fashion, you've got a problem.
Yeah, that's a great question. So my mom and I, we basically design the products. We both don't have a design background, but we have always been so passionate about fashion styling. It also occurred to us, and like we got this confidence of designing these products ourselves because over a span of like, I would say around 10 to 12 years, my mom and I, we would always design our own clothes, whether it was like for wedding functions, for events. We hardly would go out and shop at a brand or a fast fashion brand. We would always get our clothes customized. We would style it in our own way. And we started seeing how our family and friends appreciated our style and our design sense. And they would want us to create similar products for them. So there was automatically this sort of link, that this is something that we really enjoy doing, we are good at, and we want to learn more about. Having said that, in the North American market, I have had multiple conversations with young designers meaning designers in school, struggling to actually, get their label, get their brand out there, or even build a brand for that matter. And they sort of need a platform to showcase their talent, which is also, again, a very important opportunity that I want to explore next year, is to actually collaborate with these young designers to create new products. I feel like there is so much talent there. I also got this idea through my brother. He's a graphic designer and he has friends in the design school who are doing fashion designing. And he kept sharing with me, like, they have this amazing talent, but it's so difficult for them to navigate the fashion industry. So, do you want to partner with them and help them also, showcase their designs? And that is definitely another opportunity that's right there. And I'm sort of exploring that.
Well, Prabaarja, you talked at the beginning about circular economy. You're, to me, creating the perfect circular engagement model. I mean, it's quite incredible along the whole value chain, what you're doing to engage people.
Yep, that's the goal. There's so many people who can get involved in this, and the impact could be massive. That's really the goal of bringing all these little points together, and creating something that's so powerful, meaningful, and impactful that it reaches people across the globe, and it serves the planet as well.
So you go even further than this, so in helping other people. Tell us about the Be Ready talent platform.
Yes, I am very excited to actually share about that. So where I work currently, it's called the Brampton Venture Zone. It's basically a startup incubator. And we've come up with a new platform for job seekers in Canada. It's called the Be Ready Talent Platform. And it's basically a virtual marketplace that connects job seekers with employers. The main focus of Be Ready is to empower and help new immigrants, recent graduates, and mid-career professionals from racialized communities. This project is so close to my heart, as even though I'm working in the organization, like the entire team is so passionate about this project, because it impacts the lives of so many students and immigrants. On a daily basis, I sort of interact with like hundreds of job seekers through LinkedIn, and they all just come to us saying, we really need a job. We really need to earn money. We studied in Canada, but we're not able to get a job. And that is where Be Ready comes into play. We offer them this platform where they just create like their profile once, they add their resume, they record a few behavioral questions, create this whole application, and then it goes onto the platform. And then the employers on the other side also create their profiles on the platform. What this beautiful platform does, it uses its AI search passing function and matches the job seeker with the employer purely based on their skills. No names are displayed. No, we don't know which community the job seeker belongs to. We don't know if they are an immigrant. All that the employers know is that they are eligible to work, and this is what their skill sets are. And once the platform matches the job seeker and the employer automatically, the employer connects with the job seekers. They will have the required steps of like interviews, couple of interviews, and then they hire through the platform. So that is what Be Ready does. And we launched this in July. We are currently onboarding the job seekers and the employers. We have around 200 job seekers on our platform already. And now we are transitioning into onboarding the employers. And I can't wait to see what the result of all of this is going to be, and how we can sort of extend this impact all across Canada. As of now, it's restricted to the city of Brampton. But I'm sure, like, if the impact is visible, we will be able to spread this across Canada.
Wow. And is this specifically for new immigrants?
So the platform is open to all, but a huge focus of it is on new immigrants, recent graduates, and mid-career professionals from racialized communities, because these are the set of people who struggle the most finding a job. So that is why there's a high focus on them, but the platform is open to everyone, every job seeker.
What's the number one piece of advice that you might be giving to somebody who's coming to a new country and maybe wanting to start their own business?
Yeah, I think the number one advice would be trust yourself. I feel like when I came to this part of the world, I was exposed to a completely new environment, a completely new way of doing work, a completely new way of thinking. And I sort of allowed myself to go with the flow and trust myself that I am here for a reason, and I'm here to achieve my dreams. And just having that sort of confidence in myself that I can get through. So that is definitely the number one advice that I would give. Be self-confident, trust yourself, and be fearless. It's fine. Like, even if you don't get it right, you will get it right one day. Just try and learn from people. The second thing would be expanding your network. The one thing that has really helped me since I've moved to North America is just having multiple conversations with people, connecting with them, having sort of these touch points where I know that if I need some help, I can go to this person. If I have something to offer, I will voluntarily go and offer that help to someone. Building that network and building that community, especially when you're so far away from your family and friends, it's really important to keep you sane and also to keep you growing. So those are definitely the two things: trust yourself and build your network.
Well, it's great advice, Prabaarja, and thank you so much. It's amazing how quickly time goes, and we're coming to an end today on this episode of Say Hi to the Future. But I do have one question, because I don't want to overlook one part of your background, and that is getting your master's from Babson. And there's so much discussion about, can you learn to be an entrepreneur? Can you go to school to be an entrepreneur? And Babson has really taken on its own life in the last few decades of, being readying entrepreneurs to be just that. So tell us about the master's program and what that added to who you are today.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to share more about that. So Babson's really the number one school for entrepreneurship, and it's really true. Like, they live by it. How is one? It's difficult to say that you can learn entrepreneurship through an MBA course. It's not just that. When you go to a school, you are going through your regular classes, which is basically like upskilling yourself in certain skills, in learning about finance, learning about entrepreneurial finance, accounting, branding, marketing. These are all the skill sets that you need. But along with that, you need a mindset. That is what Babson offers. They have plethora of opportunities for aspiring entrepreneurs. There's something called a blank center. That is where all the aspiring entrepreneurs that's a hub for them. You go there, you have amazing advisors, great programs. There's something called a summer venture program. They have a Win Lab. These are all like separate accelerators and programs that you could participate in. They also encourage you to think about ways in which you can solve problems that you are passionate about. So it's not just about like acquiring the skills that you need from your MBA, but it's also about the other opportunities that you tap into. During my courses, like the courses that I took, there was a specific course on entrepreneurship and opportunity, and that in that course, like, a professor made us do this activity to identify what we're really passionate about. It was through our instinct that write down 5 things that instantly come to you that really matter to you. And we sort of did that exercise only to identify what we are really passionate about, and it gave us the sort of base or the platform to start thinking about problems that we can solve. And that's the kind of mindset that you get through these get through these courses and through these programs. And like, honestly, during my MBA, I clearly remember, outside of taking the courses, I would spend every minute seeking opportunities. I would go to different institutes within Babson, whether it was Blank Center, there was another one for social impact called Lewis Institute. There were so many events and forums that you could participate in, lead, or even just attend. So being out there, so having to, see where the opportunities are, learning from people, hearing from great entrepreneurs who have come out of Babson, hearing about their journey and learning from them. All of this holds so much value. So yes, you cannot be taught entrepreneurship, but the school can offer you so much more outside of that education and the knowledge aspect.
Well, Prabaarja Bedi, co-founder, UNfabricated, and generally fearless, next generation leader. Thank you so much for your time and joining us on Say Hi to the Future, Ingenious Thinkers this morning.
Thank you so much, Ken. Thanks for this opportunity. And I hope I could sort of empower someone through this talk.
I'm sure you will. Take care, Prabaarja.
Thank you, Ken.